You're driving across the flat expanse, nothing but wide open sky and endless ground. And then you hear about the caves beneath your feet. Caverns that seem to go on forever, tunnels that could swallow entire cities, and stories whispered for generations of giants that once roamed this land. But let me ask you this, why don't we ever hear about it in school? Why is it that every time we dig into the past, the truth is buried under another lie? The Nullarbor caves aren't just geological accidents. No, these are the remnants of an old world, an advanced Tartarian society that existed before the so-called reset of the 1800s. The caves are connected, sprawling across the continent like veins, and locals have told stories for over a century of enormous bones being discovered, bones that didn't fit the bodies of men our size. But here's the kicker. Every time these bones appeared, the authorities, whether it be the Australian government, the British colonial officers, or even university scientists, swooped in, collected them, and locked them away. Doesn't that sound familiar? Who benefits from hiding the truth of who built this land before us? Think about it. Why does the official story always paint Australia as a young, empty land? Why do they insist the oldest architecture is just colonial homesteads from the 1800s, when in reality, the ridges, cliffs, and so-called mountains show the melted remains of structures, Tartarian fortresses, palaces, and towers, obliterated in ancient wars? Do you honestly believe wind and rain carved out perfectly geometric ridges? Or is it more likely that these were once vast stone walls, melted by advanced weaponry during the Tartarian Wars? Here's the big question. If the caves were natural, why do so many of them resemble massive vaulted halls, complete with symmetrical chambers and corridors? Why do they line up like city streets? Isn't it strange how much they look less like caves and more like underground cathedrals? Could it be that the caves are not caves at all, but the buried remains of giant cities built by the giants themselves? And don't forget the Aboriginal Dreamtime stories. These aren't just myths, they're memories passed down. They speak of enormous beings who walked this land before the small men came with their ships, beings who could carve stone with their hands, beings who raised structures we can barely comprehend today. How is it that cultures half a world apart all share stories of giants? From Europe to Asia, from the Americas to here in Australia, the same stories echo again and again. Is that coincidence or suppressed truth? Now let's connect it. The Tartarians, the builders of the old world, lived side by side with giants. Some say the giants built, some say the Tartarians built. They both had technology and skills far beyond what we're told was possible. Look at the caves again. How deep do they go? Could they connect to the network of underground cities we've been warned never to explore? Could these tunnels once have linked Australia to the wider Tartarian Empire, stretching across the even we live on? And yet, every time evidence surfaces, it disappears. Why? Because the governments of today, just puppets of the same parasitic rulers who staged the reset, cannot allow us to know we live among ruins. The British weren't just colonizing Australia, they were covering tracks. They were burning, blasting, and burying anything that revealed the old world. Ask yourself, why do so many remote sites in the Australian bush get locked away as protected areas or military zones? Do you really think it's to protect the animals? Or could it be that they're guarding the ruins of the old world, ruins too large and too clear to explain away? What about the mountains themselves? The Flinders Ranges, the Grampians, the cliffs along the Bunda, are they really just natural rock formations or melted Tartarian strongholds? Once you look closely, you can see the bricks, the arches, the straight lines, signatures of design, not chaos. Could these ridges be the skeletons of colossal fortresses destroyed in the Tartarian Wars, their remains melted into stone by weapons more advanced than anything we know today? And if so, why has not one geologist dared to admit it? Let me ask you, why are we told the Nullarbor is barren, lifeless, and boring? Why is the narrative always, there's nothing here? Could it be because they don't want you looking too closely? Because if you looked, you might stumble upon entrances, forgotten shafts, or the remnants of bones that don't fit into the human timeline. The caves, the sinkholes, the blowholes, are these just natural features, or entrances to a hidden world below, where the truth of the giants still lingers? And here's something that should shake you. Reports exist of explorers in the early 1900s who claimed to find enormous skeletons in these caves. Some spoke of skulls 3 times the size of a man's, of femurs so long they had to be carried by 2 people. But where are these remains today? Taken, silenced, just like the Smithsonian in America swallowed up giant bones by the truckload. Why do institutions supposedly dedicated to truth always erase it instead? Do you see the pattern? lies repeated until they become history, while the truth is hidden in plain sight. The Nullarbor caves are not just tourist curiosities. They're gateways into a world they don't want you to know existed. They're scars left behind from a civilization wiped out. A civilization of giants and Tartarians who were erased so we could be told we're just primitive descendants of convicts and farmers. Doesn't that sound like the perfect cover story? And what about you? Do you really believe the story you were told about this land? Or do you feel it in your gut that there's something deeper, older, and more powerful beneath our feet? That every natural ridge and every random cave could actually be the ruins of a lost empire? When will we start asking the real questions? Why do governments and universities hide bones? Why do maps leave out cave systems? Why are Aboriginal stories treated as myth when they are the most reliable accounts of a forgotten world? Why does the media laugh at anyone who dares to bring up the giants? And why, after all this time, do they continue to bulldoze dynamite and burn away ruins hidden in the bush? They're not afraid of the past. They're afraid of you waking up to it. They're afraid you'll realize that we live in the ruins of Tartaria, that the world we see is a broken shell of something greater, that the giants were real, their cities are still here, and the reset was nothing more than a hostile takeover. So next time you hear someone dismiss the Nullarbor caves as just caves, ask yourself, are they blind or are they repeating the script they were fed? Next time you see a mountain ridge, ask yourself, is that nature or melted architecture? And next time you hear of a discovery being taken away by officials, ask yourself, why are we never allowed to see it for ourselves? This land is crying out with secrets. The caves, the ridges, the ruins, they're all here, waiting for us to see them for what they really are. The question is, will you keep swallowing the lies, or will you start seeing the truth staring you in the face? And before you click away, I got one last challenge for you. If this video made you think, if it opened your eyes to even one possibility you hadn't considered before, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with everyone you know. Because the truth doesn't spread unless we spread it. Do you believe the giants walked the Nullarbor? Do you believe the caves are just caves, or the ruins of a buried empire? Do you think the mountain ridges are nature, or melted Tartarian fortresses? Drop your answers in the comments. Let's tear this fake history apart, because at the end of the day, history isn't what they told us. It's what they stole from us, and it's up to us to take it back.